Oh, it feels good at speed. It handles the corners and the ruts really, really well. Whoa, you see that? Man, this bike is just phenomenal. That's not how you review a bike properly. This is. Extremely responsive at high speeds and exactly the hell you want it to go. Fuck yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be sensational. It's time to do a bike check and a ride review on my 2020 Focus Jam 8.9. Now this is a 29-inch bike. It's got 140 mils of travel up front, 140 mils down in the back end, and would have to be one of the most exciting, enjoyable, do-it-all trail bikes to hit retail floors this year. Now remember, this is a trail bike, not an enduro bike. It's really easy to forget this once we start riding, especially when you click into that more aggressive mode of riding. This bike comes to life. It climbs like a World Cup cross-country bike, it descends like a downhill bike, and it has the agility, the response, and the excitement of any dirt jump bike around. All right, let's check out some of the amazing component specs on this bike, and we'll give a quick breakdown on the GO as well. Straight up, it's hard to ignore that amazing carbon front end with that internal cable routing. It also has a super stiff one-piece single pivot aluminium rear triangle with external cable mounts. Then up front, we've got a 140mm RockShox Pike Ultimate RCT3 fork that's in that beautiful limited edition silver color. And then cushioning the butt end of the bike is a 140mm travel RockShox Super Deluxe Select Plus custom tuned rear shock. We're running the Shimano XTR M9100 12-speed rear mech and also the XTR 12-speed shifter pod. Race face next are carbon cranks, which also include the race face bottom bracket. Mavic XA wheel set, and a KS E30 dropper post with that beautiful, super active, user-friendly below bar lever. All right, we'll chat more about the geometry of the bike when we get out on the trail shortly, and I'll add links to all the specs in the description below. Okay, let's get out on the trail and have a little bit of fun, and I'll give you some detailed on-trail feedback about this super exciting bike. And then when we come back, I'll give you a quick 90-second breakdown on this insane Focus optimized linkage design and just how well that can benefit you on the trails. Now, I've chosen Nerang State Forest. It's my local trails. It's one of 3 of my locals, but this one's definitely my favorite. And the ultimate place to give a review on a bike because it's got climbing, it's got flowy trails, serious rocky sections, bit of everything. So it should be good fun. Right, there's a fun little trail through here, a few turns, a little bit of fun. Got the berms, really good. I really did notice the jam through the turns was really fast. Having that 1229 wheelbase, thanks buddy. A 1229 wheelbase, it's long enough that you get some severe stability. Like, it's just amazing stability on this bike, yet 30 mils shorter than a lot of enduro bikes. Now I understand, as I said, this is a trail bike, not an enduro bike. It, as I said, is very, very stable, yet it's seriously responsive at the same time. So it's point and shoot and the stability of a downhill bike. So they've really found that nice balance on this bike. This section's not all that old, but when it was first done, it was so smooth, it was absolutely beautiful. And now it's just rutted out and... oh, you see what I mean with this bike? It's just crazy. Now this little climb is exactly where that regressive travel kicks in. And having a 440 wheelbase, it's nice and short, not too short, but it's perfect. Now, it just climbs, as you saw, full traction, no issues. The front end doesn't wander at all. All right, this is the new creation of Bailey's, and it's going to be a good little area to show just how stable this bike is while staying agile at the same time. Stability and agility. Can we keep both on the one bike? That's what manufacturers are trying to do. You create a little bit of stability on the bike and you'll lose some agility, and vice versa. Now, a 67.3 head angle, that really was one of my concerns at first. Focus assured me that running a 51mm offset crown with 67.3 head angle, the two complement each other really, really well. And they were right. The bike is really stable, both at speed and in the air. This is all new trail works here, so props to the guys doing this and girls. They do put a lot of time in, and there's never a thank you. So the one thing I did love about the Jam, as I said, is that responsive feel that you get from the bike without it being such a long, sort of sluggish feel to it. The agility is amazing. It goes where I want it to, when I want it to. Yeah, it stays stable the whole ride, no matter where I go or what I throw at it. Oh yeah, it's rutted. Two-way trail, so you always should be careful here too. There's a bunny hop. Let's just jump to nowhere, shall we? Okay, the last thing that I'd like to speak about is seat angles. The new phase of mountain bike progression is steeper seat angles, putting you over the cranks, the top of the cranks a lot more. Now, I think this will come down to personal opinions, but I do not like it. My previous bike had a 76.8 seat angle, I think. Now this is running 74.2. And it is perfect. I just found I was getting sore knees on the other bike, and being above the cranks, you're pushing down, you're not pushing forward. So I was using a lot more quad, a lot less legs, and it was just hurting my knees. I could really notice it. I thought it was just me getting old. And then I jumped onto this bike here with a 74.2 seat angle. I'm just back far enough that I'm pushing down and forwards, where you get that most leverage out of your legs. I'm running a 470 reach on this with a 35 stem. So I took the 50 off, dropped a 35 on, and the reach is awesome. I'm pushing down and forwards into the pedals, plenty of room. I just feel right at home in this whole setup. It's exactly where I want to be. This is more about the stability of the bike through this trail, that's for sure. And it was so light I felt it almost drift as I turned left across the bridge then. Felt great. And the last little tech section, and another great example of the back end and how effective it is. So this will be a good little area to see how well this rear end soaks up the rocky stuff at lower speeds on that regressive travel, or that regressive stroke. Okay, let's quickly talk about the Focus fold system. Focus have developed and patented a rear triangle and suspension system that offers several advantages over most other designs. The Focus Optimized Linkage design, or better known as the fold system, provides suspension travel that is divided into two phases. In the first phase, the characteristic curve of the rear triangle is degressive. Now this is your degressive link right here. It's a solid little aluminium link. Now the degressive stroke is activated immediately upon mounting the bike, and it works actively for that first 25 to 30% of that travel stroke. This produces a noticeable addition in gaining extra traction, especially riding over rocks and tree roots, and I really noticed this when climbing hills. It just worked really nice, very supple, nice light action, and just kept that rear wheel planted to the ground beautifully. All right, now we get into the second phase. The characteristic curve is now progressive. This is the progressive link right here. Now this is held firm under the guide link, and once you enter the more aggressive phase of your travel, the progressive link activates and it starts moving forward with the swing arm. This allows a super smooth progression that gradually ramps its way through the stroke, and it softens the stronger impacts, all while ensuring an ample bottom out resistance. Thanks to this fold system, the suspension travel of the rear triangle, it really does feel a lot longer than the claimed 140 mils that Focus claim it has. So for these reasons, you know, I've found for myself that I've got full control during any trail and riding levels. Okay, there it is. That is my take on the 2020 Focus Jam 8.9. It's always important to give the right details and the right information. You can't do a bike review in 2 minutes. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. Appreciate the support. If you do like what you saw, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. That support does go a long way for me. There's plenty more content to come. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I'd love you guys to come along for the ride with me. Thanks again. Stay safe. And remember, if you're not riding, you should be. Get out there, have some fun, and push every limit you can.